You've been sold a lie by just about every gentle pastel-coloured home IPL hair removal device. They promise you a fix for your body hair, but they're all lying to you. They're tested on peach fuzz, the fine, soft, barely there body hair that never gave anyone a problem. If you're a man or a woman with seriously aggressive hormonal hair growth who's sporting a full rug across your back, your chest, your legs, or general bush region, those devices are a joke. Pretty to look at, but useless. If you've ever tried one of those weak IPL gadgets that's promised to fix your stubborn hair but left you with patches, frustration, and painful regrowth just 2 days later, then you already know the con. I mean, even I've fallen for it before, which is why you don't see me demonstrating IPL devices anymore. Why? IPL is a glorified camera flash that may possibly help with the finest, softest peach fuzz. Real hair? That needs real power. And that power, it comes from lasers, not a glorified camera flash. Effective laser hair removal for men has been underserved and neglected since the arrival of home use hair removal devices. But this, the DermRays Diode laser hair removal, is here to change that. Alright, before we jump into why this is one of the best ways to take care of coarse and unwanted hair at home, let's dive into the core physics of why men often need more power, because understanding why men's hair is harder to treat is the key to appreciating the V10S. Coarse male hair, particularly on the beard line, on the back and the shoulders, is structurally tougher than female hair. It has a significantly thicker shaft and, critically, a deeper, stronger hair root, and this presents a double challenge. You need high intensity energy, and that energy has to penetrate deeper into the dermis to reach the follicle source. The DermRays delivers this using a focused 810nm diode laser. This is a single specific wavelength, the industry gold standard, that's optimized to travel deep, bypassing the epidermis and getting directly to the melanin in the root. In turn, what this does is it maximizes the selective photothermal effect, and it ensures that the entire photothermal damage zone is targeted. Now, let's look at the competition. IPL hair removal. So IPL, it uses broad spectrum light, which is essentially a disorganized mess of different wavelengths, completely unfocused and scattered energy. It gets absorbed by pigment all over the place. Your surface skin, which causes burns, any fine surface hairs, and some of the follicle. Now, because the energy is so scattered and unfocused, it simply can't deliver the concentrated, deep penetrating punch needed to reliably reach and disable that coarse, deeply anchored male hair. And that's why IPL typically requires far more treatments with noticeably shorter lasting effects. And quite frankly, often gives you a stronger burning sensation because all that unfocused energy is heating up the surrounding skin tissue and not just the hair follicle itself. Now, this little beaut right here, it bypasses this entirely thanks to its concentrated focus strength. The DermRays is powered by Silicon Pro. It delivers 4.5 times more energy than leading IPL devices with a maximum energy density, also known as the fluence, of 9 joules per centimeter square and up to 27 joules in a single pulse. It's a bit like the difference of using a high-powered magnifying glass to focus the sun's rays to instantly burn a single specific spot versus just the regular sun just generally warming your whole hand. Now think of that for your hair root. Whether it's your beard, your back, under your arms, or those who are more concerned about their hygiene and appearance, or by treating your frankenbeans, which again is safe provided you follow the guidelines given by DermRays. Alright, so you now understand the science behind the 810nm diode laser, and you know that we have the power, up to 27 joules in a single pulse, to fry that deep-rooted coarse hair. But here's the problem that you'll find with many home-use high-powered devices: pain and safety. So injecting that much focused energy into the skin should be uncomfortable or even painful. So how can we enjoy salon-grade performance without leaving us with burns? The answer is simple: engineering and the upgraded TEC cooling. Now, TEC, or thermoelectric cooling, is the necessary counterbalance to the sheer power of the V10S. Essentially, it's an active, sophisticated chip that acts like a micro refrigerator, instantly and aggressively drawing the heat out of that skin contact point. In turn, this protects the sensitive surface of your skin while allowing the laser pulse to penetrate deep and destroy that follicle. Now obviously talk is cheap, so here's the data that matters. The V10S maintains a skin contact temperature of just 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 degrees Celsius, even after running for 30 minutes of continuous high-level use. That's a measurable 17% improvement over the previous models, and it completely obliterates just about every other model and device out there. This is about preventing thermal damage and long-term concerns like PIH or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which, trust me, nobody wants. Especially when it comes to treating visible areas like the face or invisible areas where faces might go. You know where I mean. Now this laser hair removal device features 6 precision tuned energy levels, meaning that you get to become the master of your own treatment and you can completely customize it to your needs. For that delicate underarm area, you dial the power and intensity down. For the dense, dark, coarse hair on your back or on your chest, you crank that power up to utilize that full 27 joules. If you're looking at tidying up those more private areas, yeah, that needs to be dialed back down again. But remember, the TEC cooling in this means that it's never going to be uncomfortable, even in those most sensitive areas. Essentially, this control ensures that you get optimized results regardless of the area or the sheer density of the target. Because let's remember, the darker and more dense that hair is, the more heat is going to be generated not only in the hair follicles but within the surrounding skin as well. And that can be more than uncomfortable. It can actually hurt. And the whole point of laser hair removal is that it's meant to be comfortable. Smooth, bump-free skin is not only the reserve of the ladies. No more discomfort, no more itching. Just smooth, hair-free skin that lasts a long time. So if you want to stop worrying about shaving certain areas forever, or at least reduce hair density and regrowth massively, then this device is your path to permanent hair reduction. We're not talking about waiting a year to see a difference, because you're going to notice your hair become way finer and softer after just about 4 weeks of use. Now, SGS tested data shows that you can achieve up to 100% hair reduction within 8 weeks when you follow the protocol. Initially, you'll start experiencing significantly slower regrowth and smoother skin between 8 to 12 weeks. And of course, it's really important to remember that while I've just said that, not all of our hairs are actively growing at the same time, which is why a course of sessions are actually needed to take down each hair. So while you will absolutely notice a reduction in regrowth use after use, it won't be until all of the hairs in the zone being treated have started their cycle that you'll notice a ceasefire in new growth. Essentially, what you're looking at is between 6 months to a year for complete halting of the hair growth, because that's how long it takes on average for every single one of the hairs on the surface of your skin to enter the anagen phase. The DermRays V10S is fast, allowing you to cover your full body, your chest, your back, your beard line, your shoulders, under your arms in those more sensitive areas in as little as just 15 minutes, which means there's no more wasting your weekend shaving, dealing with razor burn or stubble rash or all of that uncomfortable stuff. So now for the investment payoff. Inside this machine, you have got 30 million flashes. Think about the absolute freedom that buys you. That's enough for a year's worth of full body treatments for multiple people. Essentially, this is a one-time investment in consistent professional power for the long haul. But to lock in those full permanent results, you need to understand the hair growth cycle, which is what I touched on briefly a little while ago. You've got your anagen, your catagen, and your telogen phases. And knowing when to target the hairs at just the right time, which is during its anagen phase or the growth phase, because this is when the hair is most vulnerable. So for weeks 1 and 2, you're going to want to go in 3 times a week with this device, and you're going to hit the hairs during that active growth cycle hard and often to disable as many of them as possible at the roots. For weeks 3 to 5, you dial things down to twice a week to maintain pressure on the remaining and cycling hairs. At this point, you've likely already targeted over 60% of the hairs that are growing in any zone, and then you're going to move into maintenance. Now for maintenance, you're going to be using this genuine laser home hair removal device once a month. And this is where you monitor and adjust the frequency based on how fast your hair is growing, or attempting to regrow, ensuring total long-term dormancy. Now, the DermRays is a powerful clinic-grade tool. It's on a completely different level to many of those IPL devices, which are essentially toys. Which means with professional devices comes professional protocols to follow. This system uses FDA cleared 810nm diode laser technology, which, as I mentioned earlier, is the precise gold standard in professional clinics. And it works by targeting melanin. This means that there are some strict rules to follow for maximum safety and efficacy. The laser needs to hit the root, not wasting energy burning that surface hair, which could also inadvertently cause burns on the surface of your skin. So you need to shave. It doesn't matter whether you're shaving your face, whether you need to do your chest, you got to get that hair nice and short. Once you've shaved, you want to give it 24 hours just so there's the tiniest bit of regrowth for that light to travel through. So you always want to start on low on any new area and then increase gradually and only when you feel comfortable. Then you unlock the device to enter the ready mode when you are ready to start treating those hair follicles. And then you start your treatment by stamping or sliding, overlapping your passes slightly to ensure that you cover those big, larger treatment areas. Now, of course, you need to know your skin and hair types, because laser hair removal using actual diode laser works best on light to medium skin tones with dark and coarse hair. The higher the melanin contrast between the skin and the hair, the better the results are going to be. However, due to its power, it's not recommended for anyone with very dark skin, Fitzpatrick scale levels 4 to 5, or those with light coloured hair like red, grey or blonde, as the melanin target is either going to be too high or almost absent, which means you run the risk of either perhaps burning yourself or seeing no results at all. Now, just like there's areas that you can treat, there's areas that you absolutely want to avoid. Obviously, the first one is the eye area, because it's just stupid to run the risk of damaging your eyes in the name of hair removal. You also want to avoid using the laser on any pigmented skin, which includes birthmarks, moles, or critically tattoos, because the laser will concentrate its 20 joule energy on the dark pigment, and this could cause severe and immediate burns. Also, you don't want to be using laser on any scars or on the scalp. And if you're treating the genital area, do a patch test first by treating a small and inconspicuous area. And then you're going to monitor it for at least 2 hours for any sign of discomfort or adverse reaction. And if something feels wrong, stop. And lastly, like I mentioned briefly earlier, you want to be sure to shave the day before you use the DermRays to allow the laser energy to penetrate into the root via the shaft, because shaving on the same day can cause irritation. If you've been burned, literally or metaphorically, by those pastel coloured IPL toys, the DermRays V10S is the only device that respects the power of your hair and gives you the tools to permanently shut them down. So here's my last question for you. What specific area on your body has the absolute most thickest, most frustrating hair? Is it here? Maybe here? Or even down? So till then, TJ, over and out.